And are you refreshed? Good. Now what? There's supposed to be fewer and fewer and fewer.
So I'm going to continue with a cat story, only because it's very soothing to me. And last year, a cat came to me in a very good moment.
Yes?
I needed a cat in my life, so I was losing something very precious to me. I couldn't do anything to fix it. So I let go of the resistance. And I was okay with where I was and with whatever would happen. And things started to happen the right way. I'm here today because of that. So as I have life again, and I started living again, the desires come back. There's some manifestations now. There were strong connections. Abraham being one of those. A stronger connection because I already had Abraham in my life, and that's one of the things that got me through it. So I attach to certain things. I desire certain things. I know everything is fine. I let go of them. But at the same time...
Well, we don't want you to let go of your desire, but sometimes you have to let go of thinking about it in order to let go of the resistance of it. You never let go of something you want. It's in your vortex, and it's making its way to you, or it's ready for you to be ready for it. But sometimes you have to, in essence, let go of something, meaning stop thinking about and talking about it, because every time you pick up the stick that is that subject, you activate the resistant end of it. So if you can just let go of it, I'm just not going to think about that for a while, then the resistance subsides, and then you can start moving toward it again.
And that's what got me through it last year. Stop thinking about it. Stop seeing the little that I had. But as I'm here now, and I'm wanting to go back to that, there's no going back. There is a going back. But
going back to what? Going back to not thinking about it? Going back to what? What did you mean?
I was free.
Only freedom is freedom from resistance. Do you hear what he's saying? He's saying that when there's something that you want and it doesn't look like it's coming, it just tortures you. And the more you want it and the more it doesn't come, the more it tortures you. But if you can let go of it, now we're not asking you to let go of it. We're asking you to let go temporarily of the need for the manifestation of it while you allow the idea of it. But in any case, when you let go of whatever is causing the resistance, you're free, because the only thing that binds you is resistance. The only thing that causes tension or discomfort is your own resistance against your own desire. So this is a big conversation. It's an old conversation about let God. It sounds very nice. Well, just don't think about that anymore. Well, thanks a lot for that advice, because it's hard not to think about something that really matters. But if thinking about it is really, really painful to the point that to even survive, you've got to stop thinking about it because it is so painful, well, then maybe you'll stop thinking about it, and maybe you'll come back into your freedom. It doesn't have to be that hard, though. We've talked a lot about an easier way all day here today. But you still get there, right? So what is it you want now? Sometimes when you try to explain how you got to where you are, you get confused.
But I have a question.
We want to talk about where you want to be from where you now are.
The question that is coming to me, and I keep listening, the connections are stronger. The messages are very strong. It hurts when, and you just said it before, but maybe you need to...
Yeah, we're going to say it again, but finish your sentence.
And when I say freedom, I want to be okay with losing the connection. And no, I did. And because if I got back from that, which it was so, what people would consider bad, and it was so delicious, even to be there and say, it's fine. The person that sat here with the friend that had a skin condition, you said it. Stop thinking about it. So I was free. And
well, when something feels bad, you're not on that receiving mode path. If it's feeling bad, you're not on the receiving mode path. You're on the digging in your heels to the resistance. But you see, let's talk about this. This will help everyone. So do you know why you ever feel negative emotion ever? It's because you've told your inner being through life that you want a certain thing, and your inner being is there with the vibrational essence of what you want, but you're not. That's what negative emotion is every time. It's you having asked for something that you're not lined up with, and the negative emotion is the tension that then is happening. Sometimes people say, Abraham, you teach selfishness. And we say, yes, we do. In fact, when we were talking about service not being what you're really wanting, some of you were feeling discomfort in even that notion. But what we want you to understand is that if you are not selfish enough to be in alignment with who you are, then you're not in the receiving mode of the energy, and you don't have anything to give anyone anyway. You can't be of service unless you have the vibration from which you serve. Step one is you ask. Step two is source answers. Do you know that when you're in the receiving mode, often you are inspired to be the step two step for someone else? You know how we've talked about when someone makes their transition and you are missing them, and sometimes a bird will be the messenger that will let you know that they are thinking about you or that they are there with you, because birds are plentiful and they're always tuned in, and so they often receive the impulse from a non-physical dearly departed, and they carry the message to where it is wanting to be carried. And so sometimes you are the step two equation for someone else if you're in the receiving mode. When you're in the receiving mode, then this giving and receiving and giving and receiving is just flowing through you, and you feel wonderful. And so anytime you feel negative emotion, it just means that for now you are not in that receptive mode. So you want to talk about something specific?
Yes. Where I am right now is I feel like I'm in Pampers, in the sense of...
You feel that you are what?
In Pampers concerning the law of attraction. Because the law of attraction there is a law.
But you see, that is not a helpful statement to you, and it's not even true. Earlier today, we were talking about how you are now in the place, you get this now. So stop telling that old story and talk to us about where you want to be in relationship to where you are. What is it that you want? Why are you tortured?
I feel that the desire is for something more connected.
What you feel is for more awareness and a bigger manifestation of your desire. But you can't get there from there. You've just got to cool your jets, stop trying so hard, stop offering so much effort, do more meditating, get more satisfied until those thoughts occur to you. That's just the way it has to be, because when you feel that sort of frustration, I know that I want something, I just don't know what it is, and I don't know where I'm going to find it, and I don't know how to get there, and you can just tell that story forever and feel like that forever. Or you can say, hey, I'm starting to get this. I've filled my vortex full of things. Those things are presenting themselves to me. They're being revealed to me every day. But for some reason, because I'm beating the drum of where I am, I'm not letting myself catch on. I'm not receiving the impulse, but I could. Can you feel the difference in that? What struggle is, and you're depicting some struggle. What struggle is trying to fix it through action, trying to think it through. Those are the words that we want to give you. You're not going to think this through. You're not going to figure it out with thought. You're not going to think your way into a solution. Now, stay with us for a minute, because that sounds a little harsh. So now we want to talk about the difference between a thought you think and a thought you receive. They are different. Because you could be right in the middle of physical manifestations that you don't want, and oh boy, you're having thoughts. I don't like you, and I don't like you, and I don't like you, and that was wrong, and that was bad, and this is unfair, and this shouldn't have happened. You're thinking thoughts. You're not receiving them from source energy, but you're thinking them. What you want to do is get to a place where you can receive thoughts. And the first manifestations are these emotions that you maybe can't even put into words. The feeling of relief, the feeling of freedom, the feeling that it's going to be okay. You can't figure out how. It's too soon to put all of that into place, but you just feel like it's going to be okay. And then you meditate another day, and you still feel like it's going to be okay. And then you meditate another day, and then you have a thought, a clear thought about something that just feels good to you when you think it. And that's when you start saying, I'm coming back to life. My life is coming back to me. I'm rejuvenated. And if you can just stay on that trend just for a little while, we're talking about days or a couple of weeks, then it begins opening to you, and off you go. But the struggle can last forever when you try to think your way through stuff, because you've got so many things to think about, and there are so many people that want to tell you what to think and that are thinking about what you're thinking about. And then there's all that conflict about who's right about what you're thinking about.
Thank you. And my last question is, Abraham and angels, are they the same thing or are they different?
Everyone who has ever been in physical form, when you reemerge into non-physical, you're non-physical. Call them whatever you want. And in this non-physical, when you make your transition into non-physical, you leave behind all doubt and fear and worry because you leave all resistant thought behind. The vortex version of you is what reemerges into non-physical. So all of this non-physical, we love telling you this, is eagerly interested in you all out here on this leading edge. Think about it. If thoughts are turning to things, if that's the progression of creation, then isn't it logical that this creative energy that you think of in all kinds of different terms, you often call it God, that creative energy is forward moving out here on the leading edge with all of you? Non-physical energy is focused here with you. So as you're exploring something, that non-physical energy is there. And the emotions that you feel in any moment, in every moment, are your indication of how in sync you are with Source's perspective on what you're living right here and now, and your own perspective on what you're living here and now. So, yes, angels, non-physical energy, Source, God, inner being. It doesn't matter what you call that perspective. Esther is aware that her dearly departed husband, Jerry, who reemerged into non-physical, is so interested in what's going on in her life experience. She finds so many things, and she knows for sure that she's receiving that thought from that higher perspective who is intimately interested in the specifics of what she is still doing that he was interested in when he was here in his body. He's still interested in the gardens. He's still interested in the river stream in Texas. He's still interested in this body of work. He's still interested in every question. People who can see energy can see him standing here on the stage. Anybody got a glimpse of Jerry here today? He is right here. And so no one ever leaves. No one ever goes anywhere. You have so much backup. But for the most part, you've pinched yourself off from that help, from that intuition, from that backup, from that non-physical awareness of where you are in relationship to everything you want, because you're so busy efforting and struggling and remembering and comparing and measuring and justifying and defending and so forth. So once you chill, get more in the receptive mode, and then you'll have more awareness of all of that. And oh, it's so fun to flow and blow with non-physical energy flowing through you. A sense of invincibility comes over you. You just know right place, right time all the time. Just doesn't even matter.